Namaskara, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much, Adhyaksh Vare, and also Lahir Singh ji. Campaign Samaya, so all of us keep going to different places. In that context, I've come here also. I know you may be interested in asking more questions than a big opening statement from me. So I'll just briefly give an opening set of remarks. And after that, as the organizers would call, I'm willing to take questions and answer them. I'm coming, of course, at a time, as I said, elections. But as I said, also, just elections themselves raise a lot of issues. But in Karnataka, of course, sitting in the city of Bengaluru, it's very worrying and sad that the city suffers from water-related problems. Just water not being available is a problem. And since yesterday, the reports of, unfortunately, cholera possibly spreading in the town is also of a very big concern. There are times when in India we feel that we have eradicated most of these contagious diseases. But when you hear that it is back, and that also back in Namma Bengaluru, it sort of worries a bit. But I think it is also somewhat because people have no water, not enough water is available, contaminated water also reaches people, and as a result, they are put to difficulties. So that is one situation, a crisis of water and a crisis of a unwanted but very concerning disease. And second, also, if you see the various steps which have been taken until recently, or initiatives which were halted till recently by the current government in Karnataka, it also shows that it is in the water area that there has been such a mismanagement. Because in May 2023, the Chief Minister halted the tenders worth 20,000 crores, including irrigation projects, under the Vishveshwaraya Jal Nigam Limited, Karnataka Neeravari Nigam Limited, Kaveri Neeravari Nigam Limited, and Krishna Bhagya Jal Nigam Limited. All these waters related, irrigation water related programs have been stopped, totaling some 20,000 crores. And even then, you also heard of how the Jal Jeevan Mission program, which is also funded by the central government, even that has been stalled, if I may say that. So as a result of the matters of water for a city like Bengaluru, which is cosmopolitan and has an image all over the world, we've just hurt ourselves by these kind of knee-jerk steps for whatever reason that the current government has taken. And to add one dimension which is not water related, but which, in spite of all the inclusivity that they talk about, the Congress government has stopped scholarships for the construction laborers' children. In October 2023, nearly 60% reduction has happened in the total number of scholarships that are being extended to Building and Construction Workers Welfare Board. And as a result, scholarships have fallen. In fact, since 2007, this scholarship saw only increase. It was an upward trend, never cutting down. And today we see that as one of the worrisome developments. I'm placing it third in the sequence of things that I'm saying, but of utmost importance is the fact that Karnataka has become a center for appeasement. And as a result, terror attacks are brazen, and even when pro-Pakistan slogans are being raised in the assembly, there is implicit support which is being extended, or clearly the perception for wrongdoers terrorists or perpetrators of terrorist crimes, it is a very big signal saying it's all right, we can do anything and get away with it. And as a result, you had this horrible attack in Rameshwaram Cafe, and the NIA is constantly putting out reports about that the search has intensified. They're trying to get the main perpetrator, the culprit, who's been named, and so on. But at this time, like the way in the assembly you have a slogan given and through which a false sense of protection is being extended to people who perpetrate violence, a comment from the health minister, which was completely unwarranted. But before I say what exactly was the comment and its repercussions, it is from that very party that in 2008, if you would recall, post the horrible attack in Mumbai, when the cases were being built up as to how it happened, who are the main perpetrators, who are the handlers behind them, and so on, you had a very spurious and vicious, absolutely Congress-like campaign, which was coining a phrase which was never heard before in India, Hindu terror. Hindu terror was an expression coined by the Congress party, and you know the mindset with which they were deflecting from the main issue towards blaming the Hindus for attacking themselves and attacking common places of, public usage. So a party which gave that Hindu terror today, after an attack in a place like Rameshwaram Cafe, and where the NIS already probably put out search notices and rewards for finding the main culprit, you have the health minister revealing the identity of one of the witnesses. And reveal the identity of a culprit has one impact. But revealing the identity of a witness is the most despicable thing you can do. A witness goes in good faith to reveal what he knows. Having been there, he doesn't know what is behind the conspiracy, who's behind it. But he just goes to say matter of fact what he saw. If he says something, and after that, witness protection is not easy. The man's life has to be lived, and the man or woman, and when they lead their normal lives, they are going to be exposed to big hazards. And here is a responsible minister. You would want to believe he's responsible, belonging to that very same party which coined the word Hindu terror, now revealing the identity of a witness. Will he protect him? And especially in a case which has terrorist connotations. So the irresponsible way with which law and order is being handled is a matter of concern. And I would also say in this context that the appeasement politics of Congress goes along with it. Otherwise, why would they give away a property which was given by a donor to the Karnataka government for taking care of livestock and animal husbandry, setting up a veterinary hospital? Why would that be given away blatantly to a particular minority community? Why would they do it? Was the original intent of the donor that? Or are you now conveniently taking everything which is available for you to, keep people appeased? So, again, I'm talking in a Bangalore just with serious water crisis, and also in a Bangalore which is readying, and in a state which is readying itself for the state election, state meaning to the Lok Sabha. You have serious issues of concern which I would want the people of Karnataka to think about. And the last point that I would say in my opening remark is there's total apathy about women and women's safety. I'm astonished, and as a member of the party to which the candidate belongs, I will strongly put out this voice in favor of BJP's Davanagere Lok Sabha candidate Gayatri Siddeshwara, against whom a Congress MLA, Shiva Shankarappa, has said such words which are absolutely unacceptable. Women and their dignity matter nothing to the Congress party. They only look at them as, all right, some votes from there. They have no business to comment on, and that to a sitting MLA, to comment on the opposition party's Lok Sabha candidate is just not acceptable. Similarly, in December 2023, BJP constituted a fact-finding team to even see how atrocity committed against a tribal woman in Karnataka's Belgavi district. Karnataka High Court has come down heavily against the government for having the state administration has been pulled up for being ignorant or careless about it. So you see repeatedly such violence against women being ignored by the state administration. Law and order is not in its best form. 72% increase in rape cases in January 2024. Not a record which we will want to see in Karnataka. I'll stop there. I know I have not touched on that very obvious question of funds which are due to Karnataka, not that I'm avoiding, but I thought it would be more meaningful for me to give it as answer where you are going to ask. 1, 2, or all questions on it, I'm willing to answer. So I have not touched it. So I want our media friends to understand that I purposely have not touched it because I'll wait for your question. And I do not want anybody to think, oh, finance minister came at an election time, she didn't address the main question. No, I will address and take more time if you allow me, or else I'll leave it to you all to ask me. Thank you.
Let us start with the irrigation.
1 minute, I want somebody to coordinate because that will be better. I'll answer everybody.
Yes. One by one is better.
Let us start with the
irrigation project. One by one, please, one by one.
Irrigation projects. Karnataka government keep accusing center of stalling key irrigation project, drinking water project, including Mekedatu, Kalasa Banduri. What is your reply?
No, first of all, I want them to say why in May 2023, I read out the 4 projects on which totaling to 20,000 crores. Why was there a stop order given for these? And why is Jal Jeevan Mission, which is bringing drinking water to every house, not being encouraged? It's after all, center also is putting the money there. And it's a big program where in difficult areas, in dry, drought-prone areas, reaching water to the house is a big thing. No, they don't want to do it. And that is why I was very fascinated by a comment which I think Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar has made, that he will now, in the context of all the water shortages and everything else happening, he will invest and focus more on irrigation projects rather than building roads. So it's a conceding of a point by the state's own Deputy Chief Minister. So it is not center giving fund or not. You don't put it in right time. You stop it in May 2023. And then after a year, you say, no, I'll put it all for irrigation now. They have accepted their own bad planning, or you started in one direction, you're going on a different direction. Central government is continuing with its Jal Jeevan Mission as much as all the commitments which are given for irrigation as well.
We are talking about.
We'll go one after the other. We'll come back. Please.
मैम जैसा कि हम देख रहे हैं इस इलेक्शन में माई टैक्स माई राइट इशू उठा रही है कांग्रेस।
आप हिंदी में सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, कौन सा पत्रिका है? राजस्थान पत्रिका, ठीक है।
उस पे आपका क्या कहना है? और दूसरा जो कांग्रेस का मैनिफेस्टो आया है उसमें कई गारंटी प्रोग्राम हम देख रहे हैं, विजिबिलिटी के लिहाज से उस पर आप क्या
नहीं, पहले बात क्या नारा बोले आपने? माई टैक्स माई राइट, माई टैक्स माई राइट। ऑफ कोर्स everybody's taxes, their right, they have to do it. I put it that way, not a tax given tax to be brought back is not that kind of right. Your right That slogan itself is something which I'd like to talk about later. मगर ये नारा ठीक है भाई, मगर सच्चाई क्या है? आप बेंगलुरु में बैठ करके तो पूछ रहे हो प्रश्न। बेंगलुरु वाले सब इकट्ठा होकर के अगर बोलते हैं कि माई टैक्स माई राइट, दे दो पैसा बेंगलुरु के लिए, देखा हालत, पानी नहीं है, सड़क साफ नहीं है, और एयरपोर्ट से आने में 1.5 घंटा से ज्यादा होता है। सो बेंगलुरु वाले सब बेंगलुरु के टैक्स को हमारी हक मान करके, अपने हक मान करके अगर वापस इधर ही खर्च करने के लिए डिमांड किया तो क्या होगा कल्याण कर्नाटका में? सो इस नारेबाजी ठीक है, आराम से बात करने के लिए ठीक लगता है, मगर ये नजरिया बिल्कुल गलत है। हम देश के हित में टैक्स पे करते हैं, हर एक पाई का उपयोग सही हो रही है कि नहीं हो रही है, कहीं डाइवर्ट हो रही है, ये सब के ऊपर प्रश्न पूछो, जितने भी पूछो, किसी से भी पूछो, जवाब देना कर्तव्य होता है। मगर ये उसका गलत तरीके से ट्विस्ट करके माई राइट माई टैक्स माई राइट, देश के हित में नहीं है, किसी का हित में भी नहीं, यही मेरा मानना है। एक मिनट, व्हाट वाज दूसरा क्या बोल रहे थे?
कांग्रेस का मैनिफेस्टो आया है, उसमें 25 गारंटी की बात करी गई है, तो फाइनेंशियल फिजिबिलिटी के लिहाज से आपका कमेंट है?
मैं उसका उन्हीं का उदाहरण ले लेती हूँ। कर्नाटका में जीतने के लिए इतना बड़ा सा प्रॉमिस दे दिए, और तब ही मैंने एक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस बेंगलुरु में, उसमें मैंने बैक ऑफ द एनवेलप कैलकुलेट करके बोले 60,000 करोड़ 60,000 करोड़ उसका खर्च के लिए पैसा चाहिए होगा। अगर 60,000 करोड़ आपके बजट से ही आप दे पाएंगे, मतलब बाकी सब काम जिसका कमिटमेंट ऑलरेडी हो चुका है उसको देने के बाद आपके हाथ में 60,000 करोड़ है, तो ये सब आगे बढ़ पाएगा। मगर प्रॉमिस तो जिता दिया, उसको निभाने के लिए अभी कहां से पैसा आएगा? इसीलिए मुझे याद है डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर डीके शिव कुमार जी ने बोला नहीं नहीं, पैसा मैंने इसको दे दिया इसीलिए डेवलपमेंट को नहीं है। और दूसरी बात भी बोले कि 38,000 करोड़ कुछ मैं दे पाऊंगा, उससे चलाओ काम, मैं कुछ और नहीं कर पाऊंगा उस समय का। फिर शायद उनके एडवाइजर ही, डिप्टी चीफ मिनिस्टर का स्टेटमेंट जुलाई 2023 में हुआ, उनके एडवाइजर बसवराज राय रेड्डी अब्रू, he had given, चीफ मिनिस्टर के एडवाइजर, यस थैंक यू, उन्होंने ये बात बताया 58,000 करोड़ हम उसके लिए लगा दिया, और वो ह्यूज फाइनेंशियल बर्डन हो रही है। इसीलिए मैं इसी उदाहरण को उठा करके मैं बोल रही हूं, एक स्टेट में बर्डन इतना सा हो रही है प्रॉमिसेस देने के कारण, बाकी सब काम, डेवलपमेंट के काम रुकावट में आ गए। क्या देश भर का काम और अभी वायदा देने में जनता आपके ऊपर भरोसा रखेगी? वो एक है प्रश्न। दूसरा प्रश्न, अरे हिमाचल प्रदेश में आपके सरकार है, इधर भी आपके सरकार है, और इससे पहले राजस्थान में आपके सरकार था, इसका कुछ उधर झलक दिखाया आपने कि कर दिखाए, इसीलिए हमें कॉन्फिडेंस है ये सब इंप्लीमेंट लायक विषय है इसलिए हम इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे, ऐसे बोलने का कुछ है विषय उसमें? और क्योंकि आप कांग्रेस मैनिफेस्टो के ऊपर प्रश्न पूछा, मैं इस मौके पर दूसरा विषय भी बोलना चाह रहा हूं। वो है कि हिमाचल प्रदेश में जैसे कर्नाटका में प्रॉमिस दिया, चुना और चुनकर आ गए, उधर ओपीएस एनपीएस डिबेट के ऊपर बोल दिया कि हम वापस ओपीएस में चले जाएंगे, और चुनाव जीतकर आने के बाद उसके बारे में एक शब्द भी नहीं बोल रहे हिमाचल में। और राजस्थान में भी तब की मुख्यमंत्री जी गहलोत जी थे, वो भी बोले नहीं नहीं इंप्लीमेंट मैं कर चुका हूं, और अब तक जितने भी पैसा उसमें इकट्ठा हो रखा है वो सब वापस हमें स्टेट को भेजो, ये भी उनका डिमांड था। मगर आज कांग्रेस के पास ये मैनिफेस्टो रिलीज करने के समय आप जैसे आप ही के एक कुलीग प्रश्न पूछने के समय पूर्व वित्त मंत्री जी का जवाब क्या था? it will be premature for us to bring it now. When Finance Secretary is the committee head, there is a committee formed by the central government, so it will be premature. क्यों हिमाचल प्रदेश में घोषणा करने के समय premature नहीं लगा, राजस्थान में premature नहीं लगा, अभी अचानक ज्ञान आ गए premature. उनके मैनिफेस्टो में कम से कम 3-4 जगह पर म्यूचुअली कॉन्ट्रडिक्टिंग स्टेटमेंट्स है. एक जगह देश भर के स्टैंडर्ड होना चाहिए एडमिशन में, एजुकेशन में, और दूसरे जगह हम नीट को रिव्यू करेंगे, कुछ और पर रिव्यू करें, और स्टेट्स को अधिकार देंगे अपने आप आपके उनके स्तर पर एग्जाम कंडक्ट करने. ऐसे बहुत सारे कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है और प्रॉमिसेस ऐसे दे रहे हैं जो इंप्लीमेंट करने में बजट में तो इतना घाटा होगा, पैसा बचेगा ही नहीं.
ಕೈ ಮೇಲೆತ್ತಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆನ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಸರ್. ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗತ್ತೆ.
ಇವತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬಹಿರಂಗ ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಿತ್ತು?
ಬಹಿರಂಗ
ಆಹ್ವಾನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ಅದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದಿತ್ತು?
ಓ go on.
Can we have the next question, sir? Ma'am, I think.
No, let me hear you, Aman. What my responsibility? Has she told you from where is she?
We would like to know your name and the media house before you ask the question, please.
Sorry, Hema Venkat? edina.com. So what are you questioning? हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ, हाँ. अभी you're all asking me questions only on finances. I'm answering here, है ना? ये पहले सुन लो. Hear this first, okay? It's all right. I'm not in an argument at all. I fully heard you. I'm giving you answers for the media's questions.
Maybe move
I'm
on.
answering everybody's questions.
But this is only from Times of India. This is regarding the release of not release.
Huh.
Why there has been delay? The state government is accusing that as per the NEMA Act, the central government is duty bound to release within 1 month of the visit of the central king after set state. So the central king visited in the month of October of this thing. And they have given, according to the state government, they have given report in the month of November 23 in 2023.
Okay.
Why there has been so much delay in releasing?
All right. So good that you asked me that question. I'll give you first of all the details, and then I'll address pointedly your question. All right. See, you're right in saying that Karnataka government had submitted a memorandum. Then also in October, the inter-ministerial central team came here. They went through the ground, had the on-spot assessments, all right. Then in November, they went to the Agriculture Ministry because there are 12 disaster notified, and some of them go through the Agriculture Ministry. Drought goes through Agriculture Ministry. So they have submitted their reports. And then post that, the subcommittee on the National Executive Committee, SCNEC, actually placed it before the high-level committee. Now,
When was it put?
I'm telling you now. On 28th March 2024, that division has written to the Election Commission of India to get prior approval in the context of the Model Code of Conduct. Now, for convening the high-level committee. So, what are the cases before the high-level committee, which will have to go to the cases before the high-level committee, awaiting the clearance from the Election Commission. First is about the drought Kharif 2023. which involves Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Maharashtra. The second is about Michong cyclone, which involves Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, both of whom were affected by that. And a third, which is going or awaiting Election Commission's clearance, is for the floods and the landslide of Assam, Sikkim, and Tamil Nadu. So 3 sets of consideration for the National Disaster Relief Fund, which have to be taken up by the high-level committee, are awaiting that clearance from the Election Commission, post which the high-level committee will immediately sit and disperse. So your question is, why did it take so much time? I agree. It has got through the processes of high-level committee, then going back to agriculture. Agriculture will have to look back at it with the details and then submit it. It has consumed the process time.
What CM and the Minister of another claiming that when they visited, when they called on the Home Minister in Delhi, he said that the high-level committee will meet next 2-3 days, and there will be clear and it will release the sanction. Why almost you said what the committee you said it gave on 28th March. Why it took 4 months of time?
I agree, but anyway, I've given you what is the position.
Party prospects in Karnataka, electoral prospects, because already a narrative has been built. You also know out of 236 taluks, 223 taluks are suffering from drought. And everybody knows that it is one of the severest droughts in the last 100 years. Don't you think the central would have speed up the process and given some relief?
There is no intention to delay. That's what I can say. Because one, and if you want to further look into it, delay in such matters are completely avoidable. I also grant that. But relief is what has got to be given immediately for the people who suffer. And that relief, that's why I think I'll go back to talking about 1 or 2 points. State governments provide financial relief for such disasters. And that is for all the 12 notified natural disasters, inclusive of cyclone, drought, pestilence, everything. And in the law, that just as you are saying, I don't know where that has come from, that it has to be done within 1 month. I'm not questioning you. I'm unaware of it. But no, that's okay. I am all right. All right. I'm just telling you that if that has got to be heard, equally, I want you to be informed that in the disaster NDRF Act, there is no provision for compensation. There is no provision for special assistance. There is no provision for interim relief. All right. So this process of interministerial central team visiting, then it goes back to the concerned department, compiles its report. The report is vetted by the department. Post that again, the SC, the subcommittee looks into it, and then it is placed for the consideration for the high-level committee. Now the high-level committee can take it up post the Election Commission giving the clearance. I'm just explaining the process. But this law doesn't provide for compensation, special assistance, or for interim relief. So, as per the allocation of business rules, the process is itself consuming of time, because these are money given for not relief. If it's relief, you should not take time because there are people stranded, you should give it there. And for attending to the relief, state governments' funds, the SDRF funds, have been kept up to date, and absolutely no delays have been happening there. I want to explain that for a moment. Total of fund 929.60 is the SDRF money and funds allocated to it. 697 crores is the central share. And that central share is split into two installments of 348.80, 348.80, and both of this have been released in advance.
Normal, it is for normal growth, it comes in the normal growth, right? Every year it will come.
That is where
Since it is a broad,
I want you to understand one nuance. I'm not harping on anything to cover the delay which you're pointing out. I've already said yes, but I want you to understand the difference between what has to be given in the ground when people are suffering. That is the relief component. For giving the relief component, the center did not wait for a disaster to happen. That amount has been given well in advance. Post that, when the Kharif drought was really faced, the money from the center for the relief is already in your hand in full measure, which is the center's contribution for the SDR. That's for the relief. Post that, when the interministerial central team comes, they come to assess the damage, and they come to assess what has got to. For instance, the amount which is now got to come to you will come for agriculture and horticulture input subsidy. And the money which will come also will have a gratuitous relief, like pension lete hain, gratuity bhi dete hain. Like that, there is a gratuity relief which will be also given. So these two components are the ones which are waiting the high-level committee's clearance, not the relief money. The relief money has already come. I'm not saying this can be delayed. I'm saying even this should be given, if possible, even earlier. But the process is what I've put before you, so that the facts are before you. Will it go against my party? No, I don't think it will go against my party, because people in Karnataka know that Prime Minister Modi has attended to every one of Karnataka's requests and made sure well in time money is released. The tax devolution, I'll tell you in a bit. Sometimes, at least within March 31st of this year, which just entered, 2024, 4 times in advance money has been paid. Other than that, you know the number of schemes, number of various different projects which are undertaken in Karnataka. Other than that, you also know one more thing which doesn't get covered under the NDRF, SDRF. Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi reaches the farmers directly, and also the insurance for the farmers. Insurance payments are going to be given to the people who lost their crops. All that is happening from the central government, and without much of a delay on that. So,
May I move on to the next question? Masood from Public TV, please ask your question.
ಕ್ವಶನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಇದೆ. 15th ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ 5,495 crore plus 6,000 crore, total 11,495 crore. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಬೈರೇಗೌಡ and ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ again ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಅದು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಅದು ಇಂಟರಿಮ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ.
rendu illa onnu dhaan. Not both. You adding one thing which is not even said even in the interim report. So usko hata do. But interim report is not the final report. नहीं हो गया, सबमिशन हो गया, एक्सेप्टेंस हो गया, इसीलिए 42% में हम अभी डिवॉल्व करते आ रहे हैं. Hang on, आपके प्रश्न को रीऑर्डर करो थोड़ा. Interim report is not the final report, and the final report in its fullness has been accepted by the center. All right? And whatever was mentioned in the final report is almost now 2/3 devolved on a monthly, yearly, annual basis. It lasts till 2026. That report, that final report of that 15th Finance Commission will run till 2026. Now, next commission is already constituted, and that next commission will be going to every state and asking them, tell me your inputs. So in that next commission, whatever Karnataka will say, that will also be taken on board by them. Wait, I know you have more to add. I'll give you the chance. But the point is, what was mentioned in the final report has been completely accepted. Now, if you go back to telling me interim report was given 5,000 crore, वो दूसरा अमाउंट जो आपने बोला वो कुछ भी नहीं है उसमें, ठीक है? आप इसमें जोड़ने में वो दूसरा उसको भी पिकअप करेंगे, गलत को पिकअप करने में वो माहिर है. So that 5,000 odd was not in the final report, and just not Karnataka, Telangana was also mentioned in the interim, Mizoram was also mentioned in the interim. None of that was accepted because it was an interim report. And in the final report, what has been said, it's been fully provided. Now, you're telling me it is 5,000 odd rupees, which should have come to if the interim report was accepted. The final report didn't mention it. But I'm telling you something more. Finance Commission did not mention or did not tell us to give special assistance for capital expenditure, which we have given. Finance Commission didn't tell us. 50 years interest free. And in that, you know how much Karnataka received? Finance Commission didn't tell. You're hanging on to that 5,000 crores which was mentioned in the interim report. No, I'm telling you something which was not even in the final report. 8,035.09 crores have been given interest free as a 50-year loan to Karnataka as special assistance for spending on capital infrastructure. Isko bhi, next time you meet the Honorable Chief Minister, please tell him that this was not told by Finance Commission. Prime Minister Modi has given it.
Can I take one last question?
Can I ask you?
Sir, you've already had your chance. Sir, please be kind. Sir, go ahead. Please introduce yourself before you ask the
I'm
question.
Narendra from UNI. There is one RSS survey has been made. I don't know the veracity, just because it is coming from the mouth of Priyank Kharge. In that RSS survey, it has been mentioned that BJP is not getting more than 200 seats.
But you yourself has said that you don't know the veracity of this. So how can I comment on it?
One last
Can
question.
we, if ma'am is okay, we will.
There's somebody who's
Sure.
been putting.
Sure.
I'm Prajwal from Republic TV. In the Congress manifesto, it has been mentioned that the Congress wants to revisit certain provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. And secondly, they are also stating that they want to again reopen the Rafale as well as the Pegasus, which has already been closed by the Supreme Court. How do you look at this? Because now and again, the Congress keeps making allegations against the central agencies. Are they trying to dilute it? What do you have to say?
I'm just looking at it from one point of view. Congress party's leaders are out on bail themselves. On what? That's not a politically, environment built and political case. None of that. From their own party, they transferred money to their own private trust. On that, there is a serious case going on, and they've been given bail, and therefore they are out. Now, with that history attached to themselves, they want to review the enforcement agencies. Doesn't that smack of any prejudice and subjectivity? Wouldn't you want to ask them about it? How can somebody who themselves are under bail, and that bail is not given by ED or CBI or any court has given it, you are thoroughly being investigated by the courts. And you, who should come out clean of that and then talk, you have not come out clean on it. But already you're saying, no, I'll take care of those agencies. Don't you trust the courts?
One last
Ma'am,
question.
one last question.
Nobody from this side, yeah? You're all happy?
Anybody
Thank
from
you.
this side who has a question?
No, they're happy with BJP.
Great. We're here. Can we have Suresh from Republic Kannada channel to please ask the question?
ಮೇಡಮ್ 2014ರಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಶದ ಸಾಲ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು ಈಗ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ ಸಾಲದ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಭಾರತೀಯನ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾಲದ ಹೊರಗಿದೆ ಈಗ
I needed to be
Sure, ma'am.
transferred.
They're asking a question on the loan that the country has taken. 2014, what was the status of loan taken? And what is the increase that has happened as of now? And what do you have to say about that?
Okay, I may not have my exact figures before me, but I will tell you this. Compared to developed countries, compared to emerging market countries, which are my comparable peer group, India's loans or debt is far lesser than anybody else of that league. Because You look at the way, because of COVID, we had to go borrow a lot more. Like, for instance, the GST. We had to give back-to-back loans to the states. We had to get money to make sure that every system is all right and so on. When, because of the lockdown, everything had come to a standstill. But even then, 1 minute, let me finish. Even then, our loan taken compared to our GDP, that's what you see your focus. It's far lesser. Some countries have crossed 100, they're at 130. If your number and my number is similar, or if you're pegging it somewhere in the 80% or 75 to 80% to 100, other countries have already crossed 100, and some countries have gone to 200 and 300% of GDP. If anything, 2 days ago, there was a report which came out of World Bank, which showed clearly that in the budgetary process of transparency, putting every amount which has been borrowed out of the budget be brought into the budget, and everything that is shown in the budget is what is there, unlike some states and unlike earlier central governments. Off budget borrowing, outside of the budget borrowing, outside of the central government's balance sheet borrowing had burdened us. Now we have made sure under Prime Minister Modi that all of them will also come onto the budget. They shall not remain anything outside of the budget. So if there is a document which is absolutely transparent about our borrowing, our revenue collection, it is our budget. And the numbers are far lower than our peer group.
Can we have 2 questions, please? We have the representative from Vistara. Can we ask a question? So introduce yourself.
This is Martin Problem from Vistara. Madam, now state government is filing the petition regarding this issue. What is your opinion?
Well, the state has got every right to do what it wants. If it wants to go to the court, please let it go. Like Kerala went to the court saying, we are not being allowed to borrow. I said, all right, please let them go. We'll fight it in the court. We'll keep all the facts before the court. Let the court take a call. Government of India under Prime Minister Modi has not treated any state different from others. Every state has received their money in time. There's nothing that we've held back. And that was proven or laid before the Supreme Court in the Kerala case. We'll take this opportunity on this matter. I can't stop any state from going. That's their right.
Gentlemen, Arun, please.
அப்ப சொன்னாரா? எப்ப சொன்னாரு? நேத்து சொன்னாரா? விரட்டி அடிக்கிறவங்களை பத்தி அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும் யாரை விரட்டி அடிப்பாங்க. ஜனநாயகத்துல யாரையும் விரட்டி அடிக்க முடியாது. மக்கள் யாரை தேர்ந்தெடுக்கிறாங்களோ அவங்க வருவாங்க. ஒத்தரா இருந்தாலும் 100 பேரா இருந்தாலும் விரட்டி அடிப்போம் சொல்றவங்க தான் இன்னைக்கு பாசிஸ்ட் கட்சிகள். டிஎம்கே இதேதான் இந்த மாதிரி sorry? Yes, I'll do that. டிஎம்கே அவங்களுடைய பொலிட்டிக்கல் டிஸ்கோர்ஸ்ல அவங்க உபயோகப்படுத்தக்கூடிய வார்த்தைகளை பத்தி யோசிக்கணும். இந்த மாதிரி அதீதமா கடோரமா சில பயங்கரமான வார்த்தைகளை போட்டு மக்களை ஆகர்ஷணம் பண்றதுக்கு முயற்சி பண்ணுவாங்க. அந்த கதையில தான் இதுவும் வருது. ஆனா இத உடனே நானு ஜனநாயகத்துக்கு மேல நம்பிக்கை இல்லாத ஒரு கட்சி, அதனாலதான் விரட்டி அடிப்போம்ன்ற வார்த்தையை யூஸ் பண்றாங்க. அவங்க மாத்திரம் ஓட்டு போடலைங்க, மக்கள் எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து ஓட்டு போடுறாங்க. அதனால முதலமைச்சரா இருக்கிற அந்த தருணத்துல அவர் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் வார்த்தைய அளந்து பேசினா நல்லது. Yeah, I just responded to your colleague from Dinamalar saying DMK's chief minister has said BJP and PMK, who are in an alliance mode for this Lok Sabha election, will be driven out from Tamil Nadu.
Maybe absolute last question, gentlemen.
One minute, I'm not finished.
Just to complete.
I'm not
Sorry,
finished.
ma'am.
So, driven out of Tamil Nadu. Oh, did he say Tamil Nadu? I don't know. He said will be driven out. So my response is, if a party and a chief minister believes in democracy, they wouldn't speak like this. No party is driven out by the people. They'll choose them or they may not choose them. But this kind of a language of driving out comes only from those parties which believe in fascism, and DMK does believe in fascism. And DMK has always spoken in this kind of extreme language, separatist driven language, and sometimes such harsh language is used because they want to attract the people's attention. Otherwise, people are not bothered about what leaders are talking, particularly from DMK. They know it is a dynastic party. They know it is a corrupt party. So that was my response, that the chief minister, at least as long as he's holding that position, should measure his words while talking.
May I go ahead now?
1 minute, you asked, there's somebody else.
The last question.
ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಅಲಯನ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಬಿಜೆಪಿ ಮೋದಿ ಸೇರಿದಂತೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅವರು ಯಾರು ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಾದ ಇಡಿ ಐಡಿ ಮೂಲಕ ಹೆದರಿಸಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂತಾರೆ. ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೋಲನ್ನು ಭಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ.
If only that is true, the India Alliance and its Congress's manifesto, which has come out today, would not have been so reactionary in the sense of not the leftist way of reaction. We'll give this scheme, we'll give that scheme. Oh, Modi said guarantee, we'll say this guarantee, 5 guarantee. Do you have a vision for this country? That would come out in your manifesto. Do you have a hope about how technology and education can help our youth to come out? No. You would only say, no, I will give people 1 lakh each. Are they going to fund it from the National Herald? Where are they going to get that money from? Just bold though, Jaise Karnataka, they said, a party and an alliance, if it is confident of giving a proposal to the people of India saying, this is what I will do for the next 5 years, to take India to higher levels, you'll come up with a vision, not just 4 or 5 handouts. I'll give you this check, you take this one, this is your haq, you take this haq. None of that. So they have not got a clear idea of how to give a politically viable alternative to Prime Minister Modi. Their simple agenda there is Prime Minister ko hatao, we will come there. But who's we? They are not sure about who. There are 13 of them each saying, I am the next Prime Minister. So that is where baya unka hai, mera nahi baya. NDA doesn't have a fear. Otherwise, Prime Minister himself wouldn't have stood up and said 370 for BJP, 400 par for NDA. And he says, what is his vision? Where is he taking India? 2047, we'll all be in a developed country for which sabka prayas bhi hona chahiye. He tells you how to go about it. So,
We have one last question now. May I? Maruti from Vistara. That is the request.
oh, he already asked. You seem to be favoring Vistara.
What is your say?
I'll come there.
Okay.
We have one statement recently in Hyderabad. I have known so much of money to contest.
Oh, I didn't say it in Hyderabad. I've not been to Hyderabad in the recent past. Not in Hyderabad, yaar. Yes, I said, I'm not denying. But correct yourself. You can't be. You're a journalist. How can you be wrong? Huh? Not in Hyderabad. It was said in Delhi in a public event in front of a journalist. So what's your question about it?
But it's the fact.
What fact?
We have so many to contest.
Huh?
Next election,
Parliament
election, I have so many.
No. So yeah, I said it. But ultimately, it's my party which will decide whether I should contest or not. So, is it true or not? Why will you say lie about me?
No, party decision.
One last question.
We will end here because
One last point.
we will end
Left
here.
you.
What is your take on Mekedatu project, ma'am?
We will end here because Karnataka will come.
Thank you.
Truly multilingual press conference. We thank our finance minister for joining us. Thank you so much, sir. ಹಾಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದು thank you also. ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಸಾಕಪ್ಪ.